Oh, that felt so good, like heaven on my tongue. All right, what's going on, party people? Back with another video assembly. So today, I'm actually walking into a Best Buy right now because I'm looking to buy a tripod to do some of this daily vlogging. I have a tripod at home right now, but it's set up in my little corner where I shoot my video reviews. So before we go and do a trampoline today, I'm gonna go see if I can quickly buy a cheap and inexpensive tripod and get the show on the road. So I'm gonna hop in right now. Let me know if you guys see any tripods. All right. They did say that they were missing from here. The one I was looking for was for 20 bucks. But I don't want to spend that much. I'm gonna try to head over to another Best Buy that's about 10 or so minutes away from here. Try my luck there, and then after that, I'm gonna get headed over to the assembly. So, goodbye for now. So we didn't have any luck in the first Best Buy. There was one that I saw, like I was showing you guys, for 20 bucks that I was looking to buy, but they didn't have it in the store. And last night I actually looked it up to see if they would have it in the store, and it said that it didn't, but I was trying to call their bluff. So the other store that's in Cambridge, Massachusetts, maybe 10 minutes from here, so I'm gonna go head to that store, see if they have the tripod, and then hopefully I can get to this other assembly on time. All right, we are here. Best Buy is right down there. But you know, first, before we go anywhere, we gotta pay the man. So I got essentially 10 minutes to pick out my tripod and get up on out of here. So, and the reason why it's funny that I'm getting this tripod is because the tripod that I have at home that I shoot the reviews, the furniture reviews, is like perfectly set where I want to. I finally got it to like the perfect height, perfect angle. And so I don't want to move it and like mess it up. So I know y'all probably laughing at me like, look at this dude. But yeah, let's get up in Best Buy. It's actually right behind me. You can probably see that. Best Buy number 2. All right. Bingo. Should be able to do the trick, so I'm gonna go check out right now. Check out. Excuse me, where's my checkout? I'm doing well, how are you? I went to another Best Buy, the one in Everett, and they didn't have it.
Oh no.
Nice. All right, thank you. Have a good day. Peace. So boom, I would say that was a success. Got in and out. They had the tripod that I wanted, so I'm on my way. So I should be able to get to this assembly right on the dot where I told Rebecca that I'd be there. So it's funny because I'm gonna be using this for the first time as I'm doing this assembly. So hopefully it doesn't take me too long to set up. I have a little gadget actually that I can put onto a tripod and use my iPhone. So I'll show you guys that when I get in the car right now. But definitely excited that this was available. And it is the Sunpack Travel Smart 50. Holds up to 44 pounds, which obviously an iPhone doesn't weigh that much. So let's see. Okay, this is the little gadget that I'm talking about. It's gonna be able to clasp my iPhone to the tripod. Just arrived on site, and no wonder why this thing is 20 bucks. It is really, really, really flimsy, so you gotta be careful using this thing. I can tell that one false move and this thing will break, so we'll see how it goes for the first go round. I can tell you, I totally see why this thing is $20. I've never seen a tripod that has less metal and less materials to make it up, but I guess that's a good thing. It definitely has its place. This is exactly what I needed for right now, something to just hold this up while I do the assembly. So that's the setup. I'm gonna get started and start unpacking everything. So out the gates, you can see how things are kind of packaged. And these are going to be the legs for the trampoline. If you look at the actual box, you can see that there's tape on top of it, and that's because it got dropped in. It ripped. The instructions, here's the mat. Here is the net. These are actually going to get connected to each other. And then these are the legs. This right here is the hardware. So I'm going to go ahead and start an unboxing. And there's also this second box as well. The hardwares that'll be necessary. We got our bolts right here. We got 4 specialized springs, and we have the standard springs that go all around in the different notches. There's not a lot of tools required. You use a regular Phillips head, and then you'll also need the spring tool right here. And we're gonna use these to hook the springs into the notches on the metal sides. One thing to note, I just got done, taking everything out of the box, and you can see that I'm already starting to kind of assemble or put things in the position. So I've done this trampoline, dozens of times. And so I know what certain pieces are gonna go ahead of time. Even these ones right here, these are gonna be the poles that hold up the net. So this is the net right here. These poles are gonna hold it up. And it may look like there's 2, 4, 6, 8. There's really 16 pieces. And as I was bringing these out of the box, I already pre-attached the ones that I know go together. All right, so these are all actually 16 pieces, but as I brought them out, I was just putting them together. So it just saves you time as you do the assembly, particularly if you already know what's gonna happen. Pretty quickly, we're off to a good start. In about 2 or 3 minutes, I was able to connect all of the metal frames together. So now it's just about attaching the legs. And again, I've done this trampoline dozens of times, so I kind of know exactly what I need to do. And something that's cool about this particular Skywalker rectangular trampoline is it's one of the updated trampolines. These are relatively new because these gold metal plates used to come detached, so you would have to attach these beforehand, and they already come attached now. Same with these ones, and then they also have this new reinforced bar that goes across the side here. So I'm going to continue putting these together, keep you guys in the loop. All right, I'd say we're rocking and rolling. As you can see, the frame is set up. Although it looks set up, if you see me moving it, that's because I haven't installed the machine bolts. And essentially, the machine bolts are gonna go through this hole right here. So if I just kind of move it, now it exposes the hole. And then bolts that go through the bottom hole right here. So I'm gonna go around right now and install that for all the metal pieces. We'll keep it moving. Guys, here's a quick tip. So I'm gonna need to grab these bolts and pair them with each washer. And so obviously it doesn't make sense for you to do a couple, put them on, do a couple more and then put them on. So what I'm gonna do right now is do all of that right now so that I can do the installation of the machine bolts all in one go rather than going back and forth. So 1 bolt per each washer, and then on the other end, I'm gonna take the cap and also put 1 washer. So I got all my machine bolts and washers. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm gonna go around this entire frame, take the machine bolt, put it through just like that, so that it comes out on the other end. There it goes. See? So I'm gonna do that to all of the holes, and then I'm gonna come back around and cap them off, all right? Okay, so these are all attached now. You can see Phillips end on one side, cap on the other end. What I'm gonna do now is use my Phillips head drill to tighten, and I'm gonna use this tool right here that came with the trampoline to lock on this end so that I can get these all tightened up really, really quickly. All right, guys, it is coming together beautifully. I have basically the base all set up, but you'll notice if I come over here, in general, it's still a little wobbly. And the reason why that is because the springs attached to the mat is what's really gonna make everything come together nice and snug. So right now, that's where it's gonna sit. But the next step is to connect the net here to this mat. And it's a lot of looping. It's a very tedious process, probably the least fun part of this whole thing, not because it's hard, but because it takes a little bit of time. So essentially, if you look at these right here, these little rings right here, these are gonna slip into these slots right here. So you see how these slots have the kind of cut, another little bit cut, another little bit cut. So I have to essentially loop these guys into these holes right here. So I got to do that for the entire thing. So shouldn't take too long, but once I get this all connected, you'll be able to see how it all goes together. Quick tip, all right, make sure you don't make this mistake when putting together this trampoline, this particular trampoline, which is a Skywalker rectangular trampoline, right? When you're attaching the net right here, okay, to the mat, it's important that you line them up correctly. So what you want to do is you want to find the entrance to the net. Right, so when this net stands up, this is going to be the door for people to get into the trampoline. So what you want to do is you want to find the notch, right, that is left of the opening. And you're going to loop that with this metal triangle that has this kind of plastic piece in it. This is to let you know that this is going to be the center right here where people are going to go in, right? So they want you to align the notch that's to the left of this opening, this is the zipper right here, to this particular triangle that has the plastic and the cloth on it, right? So these are gonna loop together like this, and it's connected. And so essentially right now you can just go along the entire mat and connect that. The thing is, if you make this mistake, okay, the entire mat is gonna be misaligned and you're gonna have to unloop the entire thing and do it correctly. So do not make that mistake. All right, the most fun part of the trampoline assembly is done. I'm so sad. No, but it's kind of just tedious. You just gotta have to go around and loop all of them together, which, you know, isn't too bad. But so the next step is to connect this mat and the net that are now one piece to the metal frame you can see here. And what you wanna do to start is identify the corner triangle mark, which is right here. And essentially you wanna get the four corners attached here, here, that corner, and then we can put the rest of the springs all together. So to do that, and for this particular trampoline, you can see that there are springs here, right? So you have the springs that are in the two boxes. Then you have these four springs right here that are not in the box and came in this plastic piece by itself. And so what you want to do is take these four, and these are going to be the four that you attach to the corners. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's important that when you're doing the Skywalker rectangular trampoline, you're not using these regular springs, which are gonna go around the rest of the notches, but you're using these four are gonna be used for this notch right here, and these are the other notches that the other springs are gonna use, right? But again, we're gonna use these four for these four around the frame. So let me start blabbing and start assembling. So you can see I already attached one corner and the other corner. And the reason why you wanna do that is because this is all spring loaded. So what you do to one side, you do exactly to the opposite, right? So I wouldn't go that angle, that corner to this corner and then to that corner. I started at that corner here, I walked over and I connected this here. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the third short spring, I'm gonna loop it like this. And for the rest of the spring attachments, I'm gonna use a spring tool. But right now, because you know it's only using 4 springs, it's not that much tension. I'm just gonna grab it and I'm gonna just slip it right inside there. And what I do, I go out to the opposite side. All right, so whatever you do to one side, you do directly to the opposite. That is the #1 mistake people make when they are doing trampolines. I see people on YouTube make this mistake all the time. They post a video showing people how to do it, and then they show them doing it the wrong way. And technically, I just showed you how to do it the wrong way because you don't want to catch your fingers in between here, but I have gloves on and it's not that much pressure. But for the rest of these, I'm going to use the spring tool, which they provide you in the hardware pack. I also have this one of my own that I carry with me as well. This one comes with this trampoline, so I'm gonna leave this with the customers in case they ever wanna disassemble this, which I'm actually gonna suggest that they do for the winter time in order to extend the lifespan of their trampoline. But you can see it's already starting to come together. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect the rest of the springs. And again, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one side, I'm gonna do the other, right? So what I'll do is, maybe I'll start in this corner, I'll do all 11 of these, okay? And then I'll go to the opposite side and do all 11 of those. Or I might start right here in the middle, do this middle, okay? And then do that middle side over there. So here's what I did, right? And you can get creative with this. And this was more of a time saver to me. So what I did was I attached, okay, these springs on this side. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the opposite side and start attaching those. But what I did was I went through the entire trampoline, and I just attached all the springs, right? So I'm not going back and forth in between boxes and attaching them and then pulling the spring tool back to attach it to this outside metal piece. So all I got to do now is literally come to here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the spring tool, take it, and attach it. Grab the spring tool, and attach it. Spring tool, catch it, attach it. I'm going to go through the entire trampoline and do that. I can't stress to you enough. What you do to one side, do to the other side when you are dealing with springs. It's going to be impossible for you to go around this entire trampoline, okay, just all in a row, one by one, like in sequential order, and get this done. It's going to be impossible. The spring load is going to be too much. So see what I'm doing here? Now we have this side connected and we have the opposite side connected. And what that's going to allow me to do is get these ones on easier, because this is free and that side is free. That thing is, right? Gigantic. I can't wait to jump on it. I was giving you a test run. Pretty substantial. I didn't think it'd be like that thick. Oh no, this thing is decent. This thing is selling them the round ones, yeah, shape, the rectangular one. Yeah, my wife, she does like so much research when she buys it, and she goes nuts. This is the most sturdy bike by far. You're gonna have fun. You might have fun. I can't wait. You know? No, absolutely. Yeah. Now I'll get on. I'll make sure it's everything's nice and snug. Awesome. Probably be another 30 minutes. Take your time. I got to work a double today, and I knew it came. Gotcha. If I don't put the kids, I've been so mad if I didn't put it together today. Yeah. You know what's funny? She found you that, thank God, and I'm like, I don't care. Yeah, get it done. Yeah, no, there was a lady, she's in, I think, Westwood. Yeah. And she texted me last night, or sent us a message last night saying that their trampoline didn't get delivered. Yeah. And she's like, yeah, my kids are bummed. I'm so sorry, I know it's last second. I'm like, you know, it's part of the game. It took like almost 2 months to say to get it. We bought it like the beginning of June. Oh, wow. Because my kids were dying, like, there's nothing to do. And I do everything with them. I'm like, bullshit, there's nothing to do. I take you guys everywhere. Right. But on nights like I gotta work a lot, you know, I'm like, so we ordered, but it was like 2 months backwards. And it's still like that. Glad we got it. Yeah, and you know what, the lady, she actually scheduled a little bit of a buffer. Yeah. So she said, I think it's gonna arrive within these 4 or 5 days, but still didn't show up. So, you know, so you're one of the lucky ones. Awesome. You're one of the lucky ones. This thing's really nice. It looks legit. Yeah. All right, we'll fuck it, but we're here. Thanks, buddy.
See how nice my customers are? And you see why this isn't work to me? I love this because it brings joy to me. It brings excitement. When you look me in my eyes, guys, find something that you love to do and that brings you appreciation and allows you to show your skill sets, which will allow people to appreciate you more. So you just heard the gentleman there. He's actually an officer, and man, he was excited, right? He was excited for his kids, and I'm excited too. But again, find something that you love to do and that you're good at it. It doesn't feel like work. People on the receiving end will appreciate you, and I can show you time and time again instances like this with customers who are like, before it's even done, the guy's just so excited, right? So that's my tip for you. Find something that you love to do. I'm gonna get back to doing some assembly. Let's go.
See now that the entire trampoline mat is connected to the frame. So the next step is to take this protective mat right here. This is gonna go around the top of the springs so that it is not exposed and people aren't catching fingers in between them. The pad is now installed over the springs, and if you can notice, these kind of posts right here, these are where the poles over there are gonna slide into. So those are gonna fit into here. Now, when you are installing this sort of pad right here, this foam pad, make sure that when you do it, you tie these knots around these posts first. The reason why you want to do these first is because if you start just like in this corner right here and you just go around this entire thing and you just do all the straps in a row, eventually what you're going to end up doing is misaligning this pad. See, this pad has notches cut out to go over these metal posts right here, right? So as you go all in a row, eventually you'll end up making a mistake And this opening right here, this cutout opening will be like over here, so it won't line up. So what you want to do first is tie the straps first over here. So I'll literally tie the straps that are underneath here. See these two? 1, 2, and then I'll go over to the next one. I'll line this up, make sure it's over this, and then I'll tie these 2 straps. 1, 2, so on and so forth. And again, the reason why you're doing that is because you want this opening flap right here to be exposed over this, because that's where the poles are gonna go. So once all of the posts are done, then you can go around to each of the other ones that are around the side and just connect them. See how this is curved? You want this curve towards the outside of the tram. What you do, take your cap, find your first hole, and just find the first opening on the top of the net like this. What you're gonna wanna do is you wanna grab this, and essentially what you're doing is you're lining the hole here, and the hole here. I'm gonna do that and connect the entire thing. First thing actually is it's easier just to put this through, and then you just make sure that catches. You feel it coming on the opposite end. So you see how that went all the way through? All you do is you just slide the cap over that. So I'm gonna do that for all of them right now. Final step is to raise the roof, and then I'm gonna take this bad boy for a spin. That's all she wrote, folks. I'm gonna take a victory swig, and then I'm gonna take a jump on the trampoline. Oh yeah. It's the moment we all been waiting for. At least I've been waiting for it. This is why I love what I do, because you get to jump on trampolines. How often do you get to jump on a trampoline? If I would have guessed, not very often. So I always get the first dibs. Oh yeah. You can test it, make sure everything is fine, and the kids are watching me in envy. But it's time for the people who this trampoline was purchased for to enjoy it. So you guys ready? Here we go, look at that. They're watching me jealous. So you guys can go ahead and get a jump on that. Yeah, no problem. Be careful, it's slippery if you got socks, yo. Just be careful.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
No problem. Talk about rewarding. That's why I do it. That's why I do it. Watch out for her, or you get a beating. Yeah, no problem. They also sell with the accessories. They also sell ladders.
I know.
Oh yeah. I meant to cut the grass before, but I didn't have time. So, but I can slide that thing, right?
Yeah, you can put that on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can just
Slide
cut
over
it.
here when I cut the grass and put it back after.
Exactly. Get the dog, honey. Let me get that out of your way. There we go. So, guys, that is just an awesome feeling, to have your work actually have an impact. I mean, that literally puts smiles on the entire family. So I love what I do. I really, really love what I do. And it's all about scaling it at this point, continuously moving into new cities, okay, and offering our services, because, that's really, really rewarding. They always give you a tip. They always leave you with snacks or water or something like that. There was all sorts of thank yous, and I appreciate it, and smiles and all that stuff. So, it's really, really rewarding on what we do. So if you guys are looking to have a trampoline assembled, like her brother, her name was Rebecca, that customer, her brother just had a trampoline that is going to be installed, and that's going to be a referral. And I also let them know about our disassembly services, because I understand, take off my glasses, because I understand that, when they make a purchase like this, they plan on using this trampoline for years to come. And I know as a professional that if they leave that trampoline outside in the winter, that thing is toast. It's not going to be as fun. It's going to be an eyesore. It's going to be, rust, and it's going to, be tattered. And I don't want that for them. I already know that's what's going to happen, because I know that they're going to need it. And it's a good service. Any of you guys who've seen my other trampoline review video or, installation video for our customer Renee, we've been assembling and disassembling her trampoline for years, and it's only because they preserve it. It looks brand new every single time, I put it back up. All right, guys, I'm gonna head home, get back to the family. My day is done. Thanks for watching. I'll check you guys on the next video.